up the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Learning out from the broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heart be needing. Skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
We continue our journey learning more and more about unknown subjects, topics, or facts about Black history by going into a deep dive about how were Black Americans treated during World War II. And for the first time, and it may not even be the last, another unknown topic was discovered learning about this topic. This is Saturday Night Vibe. Welcome to Saturday Night Vibe, the aggressive news show with Let's Be Essery. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Tracy Carson and Anna Hart. Diaz Robinson would not, unfortunately, be with us this weekend, but he's doing good. No problem. He's just busy because that's how entrepreneurs like him are, just too busy for the little people. So he won't be with us this weekend. Just kidding, Diaz. So as I said earlier today, just earlier, that we're going to learn how Black Americans were treated during World War II. Newsflash, not very well. But let's go into better detail about what it was about. And also, like I said, is we're actually going to know another unknown fact or little known fact that I discovered finding out about this fact. So buckle up. It's going to be a long ride. Before I even get started, Tracy, how are you?
I took a long unintended nap, so I'm ready to go.
Anna?
I am okay.
That's all we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
I have discovered that I am no longer putting a show together the night before the show because I twiddled my thumbs, I cleaned up, and if everybody knows I'm not that type of person who likes to just clean up just for the heck of cleaning up. I know that sounds nasty, but it ain't. I clean up because it's dirty, not clean up because maybe I should do something. So I'm never doing that again. So before we even get started, let's see who we already got out there. And Anna, it took me a long while to figure out what you were saying, the number 3, but you was talking about the third picture.
Well, like number 3, as in the third thumbs up.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about the
When
third
I got there were 2 already up.
You
Yes,
sound like you're in the background, Anna.
I really appreciated everything that was last week was some of the highest numbers this show have gotten ever. Like we are 2 away from a complete. We got 7 new subscribers. We are hitting some milestones here. So I appreciate everybody out there. But with that being said, please hit that like button, share with friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you catch up after the live show, leave a comment. Mickey, shit, I can never remember which day is at 9 and which is at 8. Rogue again, LOL. In which I replied to Mickey, we understand, Mickey. It's not like we haven't been doing this show the last 2 years.
Hey, you leave Mickey alone.
We've been doing it for 2 years.
Leave Mickey alone.
Excited for the show. Looking forward to see what Marlon prepared for the first hour with the topic. I honestly didn't find out until a couple of years ago that the U.S. military stayed segregated until 1948. And in fact, it started segregating at the beginning of the Civil War. Well, let me rephrase that. When they started allowing slaves to fight in the Civil War, it was segregated then. So from the Civil War in the 1800s all the way to 1948. Tracy also said, please support this channel on Patreon. Thank you, Tracy.
I can't spell. That's not my gift.
Hey, Marlon. I guess that's a raspberry, Mickey, but whatever. After World War II, didn't black vets also get screwed? Yep.
Yeah.
Which once again shows that we've always been known to catch up. We've always been known to overcome. We've always been known to adapt, but we have never been known to be equal. Same thing as we was talking about last week about, hey, we're not going to give any lands to the former slaves. We're going to give the land to the former slave owners. Same thing with this. Thank you for fighting in the war. No, you don't qualify for the GI Bill as your white soldiers, airmen, sailors, even though you fought side by side with them. So, yeah. But let's not even get into that because we do have a lot to do. And we have I have a special announcement at the end. It ain't that fantastic, but I'll tell you in the second half. So nobody will get confused. But just giving you an update on what we're going to do for this show going forward. We was always discussing this, and we've all come to the agreement. So we will let everybody know what's going on during the second half. But for right now, let's get this party started. So, like I said, it is no secret that there was segregation going on during World War II, World War One. So you know, you get the gist of it. But in case, like I said, I always treat these shows as if you didn't know that, as if you don't even know what segregation is. So where I found videos that's going to explain it to you. These guys that I get these videos from is fantastic. I appreciate them and I give them full credit. My only thing that I add is our comments after the video, but they do a phenomenal job and I really appreciate them. So how was segregation between blacks and white during every war?
In 1940, there were less than 10,000 black members of the U.S. Armed Forces. But by the end of the war, that figure had risen to 1.2 million. And over 2.5 million had registered for the draft. Still, despite this rapid growth, segregation limited the nature of the duties black soldiers were assigned to and restricted the possibility for upward mobility. Despite all that they had done for the American military in previous wars, many still considered black soldiers to be too cowardly to fight, too inept to execute military strategy, and too unfit to lead others. Black and white military personnel had been divided into separate units since the Civil War, and during World War II, they continued to be kept in separate facilities. There were segregated sleeping quarters, transportation, canteens, and even church services.
Do you know how segregated you got to be when you can't even worship together? Like they don't even want you in there to worship the same God that you're worshiping. That's how segregated it can be. You can argue the other ones fine. You can't even worship together? Are you serious? But Tracy?
Oh, you had to call me first. Okay, so realizing I'm going to church tomorrow, this country get on my last working nerves with this obliterated mess. We're good enough to fight for you. We're good enough to lay down our lives for you, but you know what? We don't really want anything to do with you. Be separate. And they wonder why so many black people don't like this country, don't like living in it, would rather live somewhere else. Gee, I could not, I can't fathom out why.
Anna?
There's not a whole lot I can add. It's disgusting. It's the U.S. of A.
Yeah. It is I'm like you, Anna. I don't even have anything to add to that. Famous last words. Separate by equal, except they aren't
I think
equal.
she meant separate but
Separate
equal.
but equal. I know. And that's the funny thing about it is what Theus was talking about, we have no problem separating from black people. I have no issue with separating from white people. I don't have a problem with white people. I've literally have sat here and said many of the times I don't have a problem with white people. I have a problem with ignorance, racism, and bigotry. And you happen to be that certain color, that I have a problem with you. But I'm not going to throw your whole race into the same mix. At the same time, I have no problem being separated by you and living amongst my own people. You have no problem with it. Technically, you don't. You have no problem with the separation. Go back to Africa, go back to your country. Go. You have no problem with that. It's that equal part you have a damn problem with. That's the part that you don't want that. There was a family in Georgia who bought an abundance amount of land. And they told everybody that they was going to build housing for the black community, period. It was going to be it was going to be a specifically black neighborhood. They were going to build the houses, black families, singles, families, whatever, buy the houses. It was going to be us. And certain white people had a damn fit. Now they was calling racism, knowing damn well their neighborhoods who are predominantly, if not completely, white and gated and guarded. You don't have a problem with the separation part. You have a problem with the equal part. But let's move on before I start preaching like this. See,
I was confused with that last. We had a comment that spoke about how they put some word in front of segregation, but it's like, okay.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I can find it. We had a couple of commenters last week. Some was hurting my head because, okay, folks, if y'all gonna write fine. I don't have an issue with it. Punctuation. That's all I'm damn asking for, bro. I'm not even think I'm
Please.
asking much. I know what you were saying, but oh my God, periods, question marks, quote, the simpler ones, period, commas, exclamation mark, question mark. Those forward count. I'm not even
Capitalization also is helpful.
see now
It would help.
you're asking for too much. Let's see if I can find that comment real quick.
Some
It's the one
people,
that Theus replied to, and you did as well.
Let me see, because I know exactly. I'm gonna have to mute myself real quick.
his lips are moving, but he's muting himself. And this is a great time. I can't with people.
I said I had to mute myself because when I click on the video, it's gonna play automatically.
Oh, right.
No.
Inclusion by way of segregation is still inclusive segregation. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We have one national anthem, and that's for every American, regardless of race, creed, religion, etc. Because men and women, capitalize men and women, okay, men and women of every, because he capitalized that word, every race, creed, religion, etc., pay for the anthem with life and limb. Have your own anthem if that's not good enough for you, but at least have enough respect because he capitalized it for respect for the anthem that signify your rights to be able to even create a segregated and diversive anthem.
Ooh, that person is not smart.
Nope.
Apparently, they didn't read verses 2 and 3, but hey, I'll let it go. Most people haven't.
What I'm confused about here is that, okay, what do you want? It's either go back to where you came from, or this. Well, no, we can't have inclusive segregation, whatever that is. But it's like,
And it comes
well,
down to
make up your
this: the
mind.
people who say they want us to go back to Africa really don't want us to leave.
No, they want
Because
us
if
to.
They
they
don't
wanted
want.
us to leave, they would give us enough money to leave. They were like, here, take it, go. They don't want
Mm,
us to leave. We're a convenience for them to hate something, to complain against something, to say these people took my job or my land or blah blah blah. And people like that little smart. I'm glad he didn't put something like that on my board. I'm like, thank you. I'm playing Lift Every Voice and Sing on every single show. Thank you. Because
Yeah.
that's how petty I would go. See, they don't. I try not to be petty. I really do. I try not to be, but that's gonna bring out the petty me. I play it every single show. I'll be like, sir, this is for you.
mm,
But that was the funny thing about it that kind of threw me. Inclusive by way of segregation is still inclusive segregation. I have no idea what the hell that even means.
Neither did the person that typed it. Guarantee they watch either Fox News, OAN, or Newsmax. One of the three.
But I'm going to move on because I already said what I had to say. The Star Spangled Banner was adapted as the national anthem in 1931. I guarantee damn well that the black community had no say so in that.
no.
So yeah. And as for segregation,
Inclusive.
we would go right back to, let me see, what was said, blah 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 blah. See, including we as Americans, and we're all Americans and everything else, not forgetting that I did not find out until a couple of years ago that the U.S. military stayed segregated until 1948.
No, Marlon, it's inclusive segregation. Call it by its right name.
I don't even know what that means.
He or she don't either. They are troll.
But that's the funny thing about it, though. Your anthem for all Americans, black,
Talks about
white,
slavery. Talks
all
about the
Americans
blood of
was
slaves.
adopted in 1931. Yet our military was segregated until 1948. So was it really for all Americans?
That's too much logic for a troll. They got more.
Nope. Hey,
They have
I've
more
changed my mind
courage
this year. I'm using all logic. You gonna say something crazy? I'm gonna use logic on you. I know you're not gonna listen, but I don't care.
or
And like I said,
understand.
somebody's listening to this show who gets it. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not even gonna try to find the other guy because I have no idea what he was saying, and I was just like, okay, thank you. I don't know what he said. I have a problem with separation. Born and raised in Bronx, New York, mostly blacks, but very diverse. I got to know so many different ethnicities, and that served me well in my entire life. And understandable. And I totally get that. And so have I. And so have I. But like I was saying, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't. But would I love to be a diverse? Yeah, of course. I learn a lot from anybody. I learn it now and then I learn how to ignore certain people. So I learn. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. As a
I
child,
wouldn't want separation, but I would never dream of taking that away, that choice away from you.
as a child, I had so many different foods that many people still haven't never tasted or even heard of. Oh, including theirs, because taste buds are just goofy. Anyway, so let's go. Let's start talking about black women in the military who was screwed over a tad bit more than the men. So when the statement always come out, who is the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. And the reason I even say that because I have proof right here of jobs being promised. As long as you join the military, you can train, we'll train you for this job. To don't train them for that job. And this is where I would say it was a double screw job. So let's go into it.
Black women also experienced segregation and discrimination in the auxiliary care units that were designed for women who wished to serve as nurses and cooks during the war. World War II arrived in an era when gender roles were finally beginning to change. Following the Great Depression of the 1930s, many women entered the workforce because they needed more money to provide for themselves and their families. And the call to join the war effort brought even more women into the labor force. And they were welcome. Well, at least the white women were. Wartime may have necessitated that America change its mind on some issues, but racism wasn't really one of them. So while black women were able to join the civilian corps, it didn't mean that they would be treated well once they were a part of it. There were organizations designed for each branch of the military that promised career opportunities for women who joined the war effort, including the Women's Army Corps, Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Services, and Women's Air Force Service Pilots. While many white women could expect to receive medical training, earn leadership roles, or in the case of the Air Force, even operate aircrafts, black women who joined were largely relegated to menial labor. For example, at Fort Devens, a military base in Boston, Massachusetts, black women who were part of the Army Corps were promised training as medical technicians, but were instead relegated to positions as hospital orderlies. Despite these limitations, black women distinguished themselves in service.
So let's break this down. The United States at that time even understood that in order for us to win World War II, we're going to have to, at the very least, temporarily understand that we need women to either in the military, at war, or at home to stand up, take our place, whatever. We need their effort. And even after all that is said, while that was understood that we need to have women help in this war effort, we still cannot look past skin color. So thank you for coming in to help us, but please understand who you are. And even the white women, the ones who are fighting for liberty, to fight alongside their men, still treated black women the exact same way. Exact same. Nothing different. Know your place. And anything, we will promise you a career to get ahead once this war is over. And I'm sorry to say this because some people don't believe that America is like this. We promise black women a chance to give you training in a career that you can take into your civilian life as soon as this war is over and you go back to. Knowing damn well you wasn't. Knowing you wasn't. Knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that you wasn't going to do that. As a matter of fact, I even go one step further. I would go one step further, but I'm gonna let Tracy get her say so in.
Oh, you want me to? I'm like, you want me to talk? Okay.
Yeah.
Why me first? You could have went to Anna. Let's see. Gee, the U.S. government making promises that it doesn't intend to keep. Why am I not surprised? Really? Really? You say you want us to be one America and in America great. No, America is not great. This and the way that blacks are recruited now, I would argue that it's just as bad. It's seen as a way to get free college, to get free health care, although they never tell you that soldiers are encouraged to apply for SNAP benefits. But yet we have billions of dollars to go to war defense contractors. Please don't start me on that. Do not start me on that. But in terms of this video, I know, of course, then and now is totally different. I always say if I was living then, I would be like this, I'd be like this. But I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, oh, this is a great opportunity. This is something I can do. I can help my family. I can, provide for them, put food on the table, etc., etc. I would like to think I would be more radical. I would like to think I'd be like, no, I'm not. You can serve your own dang on self and fight your own wars. But I don't know if I would. I'm pretty sure I would fall in line like those black women. They probably thought, you know what, we're getting a great opportunity. This isn't happening to us in our communities. So it's I don't even know what to say. This kind of stuff, it makes me mad. It really, I know they used to say, well, you shouldn't be mad, but it makes me mad. Because if you don't want me to be equal, say you do, just say, hey, I think you're lesser than because you're black. You have every right to be racist. But when it starts affecting me, that's when I'm going to come back. So, I'm going all over the place, but because I'm trying to like curtail my anger. I'm like really trying to curtail it and not say what I want to say, because there's something I want to say, but I know it's not appropriate for me to say it. I can't with this. I just can't.
You can type it in the private messenger. I'll say it for you.
No, it's not curse. It's just like I wish I could get.
Then don't say it. It ain't got no cuss words in it. I don't want to hear it.
It's just I wish I could get my thoughts more. Like I know how I feel, but I have a hard time like putting it together like this. I feel like this. But it just infuriates me. It infuriates me that this is still happening, and this is 2023. We're now in a whole new century, and we're still dealing with the same garbage that we've been dealing with ever since this country was founded. We got to do better than this. We've got to do better than this. This is trifling. That's what I wanted to say.
Well said. Alan, you got anything?
The only thing that I could add is that if you think things are harder for women, they're twice as hard for Black women. You didn't pay them hardly anything. Tell them they're going to be, oh, can learn skills so you can maybe get a job in a hospital as an orderly. I'm pretty sure that they would have wanted to be nurses and doctors. But misogyny runs rampant in the army, in all the branches, and content warning, but there's far too much sexual assault and just abuses of power. And that's what it always comes down to. It's disgusting. There's really not much more to add.
Right. So let's go ahead and get into it. What are the hospital orderlies? Go get the patient.
They're like LPNs.
So Parker, actually no, they're less than LPNs.
No, I'm sorry.
which
LPNs
is,
have more duties. They
right. They
yeah.
can actually administer like medicine and stuff. They're a low end nurse as an LPN, but an orderly, you maybe bring a blanket.
Or a toothbrush.
You don't take care of the medicine. You don't take care of the patient. You make sure the room is clean.
Nurse, promise him, bring me a blanket. No, not much training for bringing a blanket, a toothbrush, a toothpaste. Yo, Dash. Dash
Hey,
just dropped in to
Dash.
say he was
Hey,
dropping a
Dash, what's
light. Hey,
up?
Dash. I'm
Good
surprised
to
Dash
see
came on
you.
a Saturday. Dash may be out cooking, so he may be listening in. I agree with Adam's dog. Nonsense. Inclusive of segregation, my A, there's a difference between segregation and separation in the way Theas was describing for the purpose of healing and
Neutrality within a group.
neutrality within a group. Thank you.
Not to be correcting you, but
Hey, if you hear me say a word and I have no idea how to pronounce, please jump in there because I will Machuku all that word all the way. Machuku, Machalo, Bukaluka, say something. I'll keep going. Hey, Poppy. Thank you, Dash. Barbecue, that's my boy. I hate that I missed his show last Wednesday. I got busy doing something else, and by the way, I don't know if he's still on or not. His show really struck me because his show was like a little over an hour, so I was like,
ooh, short.
it was really short. It was like I'm not used to you being on for an hour. Of course, you're not going to be on 3 hours because you're not bringing me and the rest of the crew back on there. But whatever, I'll forgive you. Oh, never mind. I looked it up. But Orly is just basically a sister who helps out to the hospital staff, but isn't given an official, meaningful position, so that they are relegated to. I'm pretty sure
They're basically lower than the cleaning staff.
you're basically the cleaning staff.
The cleaning
You're
staff.
You're
the
the
yeah,
cleaning
you're
staff.
the cleaning staff.
Okay, Dash provided the old break and remember it. Yeah, you remember Dash. I'll remind you again when it's needed. Yeah, it's yeah. You take it, make the hospital into a hotel. You're the cleaning staff. That's you the one Mom was talking about one time saying you were wrestling. Please don't get him up on this stuff. Night guys, have a long drive in the AM. Take care and be safe out there.
Good night.
Have a good one, Dash. Hi, everybody. Look like I missed a lot and taking a break. No, we just got started. Yes, guilty is wrestling fan. He is not a wrestling fan. He just don't like me saying wrestling instead of wrestling.
Wrestling.
It's wrestling. I'm in the South. We've been saying wrestling since I was a kid. I'm not a wrestling fan. I give Marlon grief for him being a fan. But this is the same guy who says water. I don't even know how to spell water.
WATER.
DER, yeah.
Water. I even know how to spell water.
That's
spell. I know
how
how to say water.
that's how I learned it. But there are all kinds of different sounds in different parts of the country.
Like sink. It's sink. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mean the sink that you put dishes
Yeah,
in.
it's sink. So much of the hate and bigotry infuriates me. I have no idea how black and brown people keep
It's
from
a hard road
exploding
to
their
try,
race.
Mickey. It's a hard road to
It's
try.
a hard one.
Especially when you black and you female. That's
So
like 2 strikes.
Yeah.
But we keep going anyway.
Because we know no other way.
Because you can't kick it. You ain't gonna kick us down. You're not gonna keep us down.
You
Like
ain't gonna-
water, we're gonna rise. And I'm not gonna quote Maya Angelou, but that's not what she said in her poem. But I was gonna start quoting "And Still I Rise," but I'm not gonna do that because this is Marlon's show. Be respectful.
But it is.
But that's a
No, it is not. I'm not gonna get on this. No.
Water.
Yeah, it is water.
It is not.
In different parts of the country.
Yeah, some people do say water. I mean, I say water, but some people say wrestling, which you're the only person I know that says wrestling. Sure, the rest of us say wrestling.
We've always said wrestling. Always.
I have never heard that before.
We've always said wrestling with an R. Always.
It has an R. WRESTLING.
No, RASSLIN. Wrestling.
You wrestle some meat together, like you wrestle the cattle in.
Gertrude. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can say this. Gertrude Margaret Ivory Bertram. This is one of the nurses who actually wrote down her experiences working as a nurse during World War II.
Oh, so she was a nurse.
She was a nurse. Now, do you think that made it better?
Oh, no, probably made it worse. But I'm just saying she was a nurse. They let her get up to be a nurse?
She was a nurse. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually skipped something. Sorry. So, yep, I sure did because I had it in the wrong place. So I apologize. We're going to get into it. So, one of the things that they had an issue with women, black and white, for a short period of time was even sending them international. Eventually they did. Eventually they had to. So, let's take a look at the first international job for black women.
Prior to an intervention by Eleanor Roosevelt, black women in the Women's Army Corps, or WACs, were not stationed overseas. The first group of black WACs arrived in Europe in February 1945. This was the 688th Central Postal Directory Battalion. The first huge assignment given to those 855 women, you asked? The mailroom. When these WACs arrived, they found a system backlogged and a building stacked to the ceiling with mail. There was also a room filled with gifts, food, and rodents. Charity Adams, one of only 2 black women promoted to major during World War II, was commander of the unit. By dividing women into 3 8-hour shifts, and sorting more than 65,000 pieces of mail during each shift, the unit was able to clear these rooms in less than 3 months.
I just want to add that for just this way of saying what I'm about to say. Again, notice this. We overcome and we adapt. Not the same as equality.
Nope.
We always have the ability, because if you want to figure out what is ingrained in the Black community for the longest period of time, it's overcoming. It's jumping over any obstacle put it our way. These women would throw for a loop. Everybody knew that wasn't fair. Everybody knew that wasn't fair. And yet, not only did they overcome, they exceeded. You try to put 65,000 pieces of mail that's been sitting around for God knows how long. I know the number they gave, but it could have been a lot longer, and do it in 3 months. United States Postal Service can't even do that. You can't even get through a year. We still getting stuff from 2019. But never mind. Now we're gonna go to the Bertrude. Bertrude, the nurse, and she documented her time as a nurse during World War II. This just so happened to be one of the situations she ran into.
Such was the case for Lieutenant Gertrude Marguerite Ivory Bertram, a Black member of the Army Nurse Corps who served as a nurse at Fort Bragg and the West African Theater during World War II. She recorded several accounts of her experience that give us insight into the expectations versus the realities of Black women who joined the fight. Let's go to the thought bubble. So there was Bertram, minding her business at a train station with a first-class ticket to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. At the time, Fort Bragg was one of few bases that accepted Black nurses. She was traveling under government orders and was legitimately excited about her first-class trip until a Black Pullman porter started causing a scene. A Pullman porter was sort of like a flight attendant, but for trains. See, when she booked the ticket, no one asked her what her race was. Then, when she arrived and produced her ticket, it immediately became a problem. The porter told her that she was causing trouble and said to her face, "Girl, you are out of your place." But at this time, survival for Black people meant compliance, even if it meant preventing other Black people from trying to exercise their rights. After going back and forth with Gertrude, he put her in a drawing room on the train and wouldn't let her into the dining room car or even the restroom. She arrived at Fort Bragg to find it segregated as well. She later recounted a moment in which she collapsed trying to make it up a hill one night when it was too dark to see. 2 white nurses grabbed her on each side to pull her up, but when they reached the top of the hill and the moonlight revealed her skin color, they dropped her back on the ground. Thanks, Thought Bubble. It was initially difficult for Bertram to wrap her head around these early experiences. She struggled to reconcile the dignity and respect she'd earned during nursing school and the humiliation she experienced when she joined the war effort.
First question everybody's going to pop in their head. Why? Why would the Pullman porter do what he did? Why would the nurses do what they did? Are they racist against their own people, bigoted against their own people? Why would they do that? Okay, here is how bigoted and racist this country was.
Is.
Was last year, but we're talking about the was point.
Oh, you're talking about the video. Okay.
Yeah. Why did the Pullman porter do what he? Why did the Pullman porter do what he did? Did what he did. Knew that sentence didn't sound right. Why did the Pullman porter did what he did? Because that could have literally been his job. Not his job to do something like that. It could have cost him his job if he did. He wasn't looking at, this is a Black sister. Ooh, I'm proud of you. I'm glad to help you out and everything. This is no more than looking at her going, if my white counterparts who have enough power to fire me because I'm helping you and I have a family to take care of. So yeah, I will, not being funny, throw you under the train and to help save my job and my security and my money. I certainly will do that. Yeah. Your achievements is not greater than taking care of my family. Why did the nurses do what they did? That could be a little more simpler to explain. One, we could make it as shallow as, yeah, there were bigots. But let's say that there wasn't bigots. Let's say there wasn't. Let's say they didn't have a racist bone in their body. That's not to say that their colleagues didn't. And their colleagues could have made it very tough. We've said who had the roughest in this country, or at that time, Black women. Who was second or third? Women. And they definitely did not need any heat being looked at them at that time. So again, yes, I will throw you under the bus to save our own skin. Not that hard to understand. And Tracy is absolutely correct. We're still going through it. We're still going through it. And during a war, no. At a job, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not looking at porta potties or anything like that, but if you think of a supervisor, a manager, if you're thinking that people who have the equal amount of job performance, skills, and experience as you do, but they just so happen to be a different color to you, won't flip on you? Yeah. Still going through it. But go ahead, Tracy. Or if you don't have anything, just let me know. I'll continue on.
What can I say? I mean, we've excelled despite the obstacles, despite the barriers. We've excelled, and that bothers people. I'm talking to you now, Ron DeSantis. That bothers people. But you know what? Once, because I want to say we'll obtain equality, I don't see it coming. I think that's what makes me the angriest, is to realize no matter what I achieve, no matter what I do, no matter how well I do it, in somebody's eyes, I'm not going to be equal because of my skin color. But then on the other hand, I don't need you to tell me that I'm your equal. I was born free. You're not going to send me back. I'm not going to go back to slave times. I'm not going to just accept what you say just because you say it. So you can do whatever you want to try to keep me down. I'm still going to rise. And yes, I did quote Maya Angelou that time.
Yeah, you keep doing that.
I know, but it's like her poem is so, it's such the perfect, like that's my whole sentiment. It's like, I still rise.
Yeah.
You can put whatever you want in front of me, but I'm still going to rise.
I'm going to get to you, Anna, in a few seconds, but y'all understand. Oh, you don't have anything? No, okay. I know I keep using this word over and over again, and it's even my mantra of why I even started this show. Started this show from the very beginning. When I say you're going to do it anyway, I'm like Tracy. I don't care what you think about me. If you dislike me for the color of my skin, then you're pretty much just telling me it doesn't matter what I do. So I'm not finna sit here and break my neck to get you to like me, respect me, even acknowledge me. I got better things to do. And I'm going to do it. So yeah, I agree with that. What do we have? Let me see. The armed services actually knew black women could do things white women were not used to doing, but they didn't want to prioritize it because of white male prejudice. Yeah, exactly. Acting that way towards a sister, whether a white woman or a man in general, is kicking down because it seems as necessary for survival. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a way of saying it. Kick down for your survival. Yeah, yeah. That's why Thea's idea of voluntary racial separation, not segregation from outsides, makes sense. Yeah, I understood what Thea was saying the whole time. Yes, because the whole deal was all he was really saying was we have no problem with other races when we have to deal with you, go to work, restaurants, things like that. But when it's time to go home, when men went off to war, women, both black and white, filled in all the factory jobs. After working well for 6 years, when the men returned, women was all fired and told to go back to the kitchen. Oh yeah, that's a
Yes, Mickey, you
entirely
cover
different show, Mickey. But yeah, not all of when it was just the women, it was fantastic, and they overcame and blah blah blah. And you doing a great job, including building freaking planes that was used during the war. Soon as the men came back,
go back to the kitchen.
you was good, but you wasn't that good. And that poem by Maya make me cry with pride every time. It's the human spirit talking out loud.
Marlon, slow down.
Am I talking fast? That poem by Angelou makes me cry with pride every time. It's the human spirit talking out loud. All right, let's get to it. So, not everything was bad. There were, and I'm gonna give you the heads up that you're gonna laugh at some of these things because these are the black units that was in World War II. So remember, we're segregated, so they had to have only black units. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the names they gave them. Like y'all was real imaginative in during that
Black
time.
Unit 1, Black Unit 2.
Y'all was real imaginative. So
Just say they weren't racist, because I'm already ticked off mad.
No, I don't think it's gonna tick you off. It was just like, really, how long did it take y'all to come up with these names? But here we go.
Bertram's experiences.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. And just so y'all can get into a glimpse into Marlon himself, of course, they're talking about one of my favorite groups of all time.
Bertram's experiences highlight only a fraction of what black men and women went through during the war. Still, they offer a picture of how truly extraordinary it was for those who were able to excel amid incessant discrimination. All black or predominantly black units, like the 320th Anti-Aircraft Barrage Balloon Battalion or the 761st Tank Battalion, became shining emblems of black resilience and triumph. These battalions bulldozed their way through the hate in Europe from both their adversaries and their allies and emerged as formidable and honorable soldiers. The only all-black divisions to fight in both World War I and World War II were the 92nd Infantry Division and the 370th Infantry Regiment. The 92nd Infantry Division, referred to as the Black Unit, was comprised of approximately 15,000 men and commanding officers. The 370th Infantry Regiment was called the Black Devils and had the coveted distinction of being the only black regiment to have all black officers. And then there was the Tuskegee Airmen, affectionately known as the Red Tails. They got their nickname when they became members of the 332nd Fighter Group. These pilots flew P-51 Mustangs to escort bomber pilots into enemy territory. The airmen's highly lauded performances stood out and contributed to a growing sense that black people should be fully integrated members of the U.S. Armed Forces. This group was formed in 1941 and it was based in Tuskegee, Alabama. After extensive training on the local Army airfield, college students who matriculated through this program became the first black military aviators in the U.S. Army Air Corps, which would later become the Air Force. Besides pilots, the program also produced navigators, bombardiers, aircraft mechanics, and more. During their time of service, these men flew more than 15,000 missions in Europe and North Africa during World War II. By the war's end, they'd earned more than 150 distinguished flying crosses.
I love the Tuskegee Airmen. One of my favorite historical groups of all time, the Tuskegee Airmen. Now let's get a little not rumor, but the little facts put together. Because if you knew about the Tuskegee Airmen, that you realize the word was they flew over 15,000 missions and never lost a bomber. That's not true. When the records came out after the war, unsealed records came after the war, they lost a total of 25 bombers. That being said, the average group that was doing the exact same job as the Tuskegee Airmen was on average of 74 bombers lost. So again, exceeding. On top of the fact that when they first started off, they had to excel dramatically. Because the P-16 Mustang that was given to them was old and a lot slower than the German planes. It wasn't until they had to prove themselves mission after mission after mission that the higher ups started seeing to give them better equipment. So it was always set up to fail, and when they didn't, so I like the fact that you have to succeed expectations by giving the worst equipment at the same time, putting human lives on the line to prove a point that wasn't proven. You dislike skin color that doggone much that you willing to even put your own people up to death just to prove a point. Anything, Tracy?
This is really making me madder because it's like you wanted to make me angry today. Because I think about how did they get treated when once they came home? They couldn't sit in restaurants. They still didn't have jobs. We're going to talk about how they got screwed out of the GI Bill. What did they do all that fighting for? For what? To get treated the same way, to get the same racism, to get the same. Yeah, I'm just angry. I'm sorry. This is making me a whole lot angrier than I thought.
Welcome to Black History Month.
Oh no, I'm not saying I don't need to learn it. Well, I already knew this part, but I can't.
Anything, Anna?
It's like Tracy said, it's hard to even find the words. We knew a lot of this on the surface, but when you start filling in details, it starts to make the brain just
Explode?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, now to the fun part of it. Not fun, but a little more lighthearted compared to what we've been listening to. This is the part where I discovered something new that's talking about this story. In 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and a couple of his friends and colleagues put together the second March on Washington. The first March on Washington was in 1941, which is kind of not true in and of itself because the march never happened. It was put together, it was about to, but it was never triggered. And then we're going to get into the the other part is probably going to make y'all mad, to get into the reason why it was never executed. So here is the first March on Washington.
Seasoned labor organizer and socialist A. Philip Randolph proposed a march on Washington in 1941 that would change the entire trajectory of treatment of African Americans. No, I'm not talking about the March on Washington pulled off by Randolph, Bayard Rustin, and Dr. Martin Luther King over 20 years later. This March on Washington was more of a movement because, in the end, the march itself didn't actually have to happen. Well, not yet anyway. The March on Washington movement was the most militant black political operation in the early 1940s. It was created to call out segregation in the armed forces and demand President Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration treat black soldiers fairly. We'll learn more about this in an upcoming episode. But through his rallying and petitioning, Randolph made his plans to march on the Capitol public knowledge. As plans for the march raised concerns for race relations, it caught President Roosevelt's attention. On June 25, 1941, he signed Executive Order 8802, which prohibited, quote, discrimination in the employment of workers in defense industries or government because of race, creed, color, or national origin. The Roosevelt administration also brought forth the Fair Employment Practices Commission to address workplace discrimination. Another crusade black people took up during the 1940s was the Double V campaign, led by James G. Thompson. This newspaper marketing campaign was meant to remind Americans that while there was fighting against fascism going on abroad, there was a lot of work to do in the fight against racism here at home.
So, in a nutshell, the march didn't happen because the president put in, and as we've learned on this show, an executive order, which doesn't mean diddly squat, because you can't do anything. The only way you can even make that, enforce that, is to always be president. As soon as you out that office, as soon as you're out. So sorry, but you fell for the okadoke. As for the second thing about the commission put together, well, welcome to 2023. We pretty much have figured out what commissions and committees and anybody else put together to research, look into, analyze, whatever keywords you want to use. Jack squad if nothing's been done other than you still in 2023 researching, analyze, and look it up, and all this other stuff you like to use. The March on Washington in 1941 didn't exist because you fell for the okadoke. And in the end, just to pinpoint, since everybody put this together, making everybody mad, the 1941 march didn't occur until 20 years later, when you come to the realization that nothing changed in 20 years at that time. You still had to march. So, Tracy, you got anything other than I'm still mad?
I'm still mad. I'm still mad because I'm so, like, it's hard for me to put in words my anger. And I know if these was here, like, well, you should know. Yeah, I know. But this is anyway. I found the poem by Maya Angelou, And with your permission, I would like to read just a section because the poem is kind of long. At the end of the poem, she says, leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of a slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. That's the story of my life. I rise. I don't care what obstacles you put in front of me, I'm rising. You can say I can't go something. I don't have to get a seat at the table. I'll bring my own table. I don't need your permission, your nothing. I'm still gonna rise. So I'm gonna just keep saying I rise the whole evening because if I don't, this little mess that they went through, totally unnecessary. Unnecessary for us to go through it, for them to go through it. But still, I rise.
There has to be a way to turn the anger to effective action before it eats you up.
I agree.
For me, this show.
And for me, it's saying I rise.
Over and over again.
Over and over.
All right. Anna, you got everything before she rise up anymore?
You know what? Don't nobody got to do. Let me go get a cup of water.
Anna, please say something before she
It's
talks.
now 80 years later.
But it's better than what it was.
Crumbs.
Oh.
Little bitty crumbs.
There was an incredible story in the Smithsonian Magazine, and if anybody has not seen it, I do really encourage you to go read it. Just the pictures of these two women who are still alive and with us today. It will tug at your heart, but it's also important to know. And go a little bit more into the Mel story and just how long that stuff was allowed there to rot. It's
Yeah.
Yep, and they weren't supposed to succeed. But yet they did. And now, Marlon, I'm not going to say and they rose. But they did.
thank you.
Like water.
Water.
That's not a word.
Neither is
It's gotta be
wrestling.
up somewhere in the stratosphere by now.
Please, you done made it to Mars. So that is our first hour. I appreciate everybody who stayed by. And if you learned absolutely anything from this show, I appreciate it. I also ask you to go deeper. That I'm just giving you snippets of history here and there of the treatment in World War II of Black Americans. There's always a deeper story behind anything that I put on this show. Always have been, always will be. All the way to the point of I can literally right now tell you what tomorrow's show is on. And it is on the 1941 almost March on Washington. We're going to take a deep dive into the setup, who was involved, and why it never happened. But I've already, spoiler alert on that one. But we'll get into a deeper dive on it tomorrow. Anybody that's new here, just to let you know that is our first hour of the show. We will take a 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. On the second hour, I will have an announcement about the what's going on with the show going forward. Am I the a-hole? And Foxy's videos of the week. So stay tuned. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. If this is your type of content, please do not forget to subscribe. And we will see you in 3 minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the second hour of Radical Truth to Power. Before we even get started, let's go ahead and pay these bills. Do not forget that Radical Truth to Power. I literally said Radical Truth to Power twice, and nobody said anything. Welcome back to Saturday Night Vibe. So let's pay these bills to let you know that Radical Truth to Power is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a better Tracy media page. Help support Tracy and all her causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind, the way it's said on the teacup there. It helps support Thea's coffee cup. It helps support Thea's and all of his causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/radical truth to power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Help support me and all my causes. And please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you have any suggestions, qualms, or Mafia videos of the week that you like me to spare, other than stuff that's going to be copyrighted and there was not a chance in the world I'll be able to say or use on the show, send it to radtp@outlook.com. That's radtp@outlook.com. You are muted, so I have no idea what you're saying.
Just play a portion.
I can't play a portion. It will be copyrighted. The funny thing about it is, you said play a portion. Once it's copyrighted, all they're going to say is remove it, and nobody's going to see it again.
You can put a link
You
in
get
the
like
description
8 seconds.
Yeah, you get
Fair
8
play.
seconds.
I'll look into it.
But we could say it's free commentary. That's what Roland Martin be doing, and he played a whole clip. I'm just saying.
Everything from your childhood is on a Radical Truth to Power playlist, so there. It should be. I have a Saturday Night Vibe playlist.
Yeah, but she's talking about your YouTube group. It's under Radical Truth to Power. That's what you call your YouTube page.
Oh, okay.
Fair use. Thank you, Learn Life. Thank you.
Learn Life. How you doing? Fair use. All right, I'll take a look into it and I'll play.
Because that was a hilarious video. I both shouted and relived my childhood. It was great.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which one are you talking about?
The PBS melody.
Oh no, I can play that one.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
Oh no, I can play that one. I thought you was talking about the not the Chuck Norris,
Clint Eastwood singing.
The Clint Eastwood
You
singing.
played a portion of. You did play a portion of that.
Probably because I couldn't take but a portion of it, but
You didn't
still.
play very much of it because you was like, I don't need to hear this anymore. This is where he talks about Anna. He's singing to the trees and wonders why the trees don't talk back to him. Or I might have put that in the group. Yeah. Yep. And thing about it is, Lee Marvin, another gangster, is also singing in it.
Oh, that face!
Mm-hmm.
Clint Eastwood, same Clint.
I got
Chair
the
talking
video.
at the
Clint?
Republican National Convention. Clint Eastwood sings.
They got high one day before going out and trying to figure out
No,
why the
this was an
trees ain't
actual
singing to them.
musical. This was an actual musical.
No, trust me, Tracy. You got to be high to wonder why the trees ain't talking back.
The trees actually talk all the time. I sing to the trees. I have no problem admitting that. A lot of gardeners would. And if you know how to listen, trees can talk to you.
I'm not doing this.
Can tell you what the weather will be.
No. I'm not finna hold a conversation with a tree.
Your loss? I'm sorry.
Some stuff can happen in the group chat, LOL. Yeah. I'm not talking to a tree.
But Lee Marvin was also in there, and he sings worse than Clint Eastwood. I didn't even send you that clip.
Who thought Clint Eastwood could sing anyway? You keep
Who
saying
thought
he
Lee
sings worse than
Marvin?
Clint Eastwood.
He was
Clint
worse.
Eastwood.
No, he was worse than Clint. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute, Clint. I'm sorry. I thought you was bad, but nah, Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin. Shoot him up, rough him up. Lee Marvin.
Please, no.
See, I could have got y'all that for Christmas, but because I'm the bigger person and I'm trying not to be as petty, I did not say, what's your address? So I could just send y'all that for Christmas.
That's
Thank you.
bad. LOL, I'd rather converse with a tree than a right winger.
Now that's true. Now that, I agree.
To be honest with you, ain't that about the same thing?
No, the tree is smarter.
Thank you.
You missing a lot, Ball. I am not talking to a tree.
She's talking about the group chats in the.
Oh,
think
it
that's
is
what she's
what they're
talking
talking through now? Oh. What are you talking about group chats? What about this?
No, I didn't say group chats. I think she's meaning the chat in the comment sections. I think that's what she's meaning.
I don't know. We already talked about trees, so at this point in time, I just give up. Am I the a-hole? Okay. I'm still cleaning up, and I have 3 videos left before I have to, regroup. So just to make sure that I will leave it up to Tracy and Anna to pick between these titles, okay? And y'all can decide, and we could just keep going. You have girlfriend will not help. Boyfriend will not stop helping. Second one, daughter will not stop eating bad food. The third one, flat chest insults.
Well, I'm going to stay away from flat chest insults because that's already going to tick me off.
So everybody in the comments, go ahead, throw out which one do y'all want to hear. I'll go through it again. Boyfriend will not stop helping. Daughter will not stop eating bad food. Flat chest insults. I'll give everybody 30 seconds to get in what y'all think, what y'all want to
I'm going
say.
to agree with Anna. Number one, boyfriend won't stop helping.
Number one, boyfriend will not stop helping. All right, here we go.
Asked him to leave? I'm a 28-year-old woman, and my boyfriend, Ryan, who's 27, likes to help others. He's the type of guy who would give a coworker money for their rent or buy groceries for our neighbor. However, he can take it too far at times. He often tries to help people without asking if they need or want his help. Every year, my brother Paul, who's 35, and his wife Lily host a holiday dinner. This year, Ryan attended for the first time. Before we left for their house, I told Ryan that Lily was legally blind and had been her entire life. She knew what she could and couldn't do. I told Ryan to only help Lily if she asked for help. We arrived early so I could help Paul and Lily cook. While we were cooking, Ryan kept telling Lily things like, "Lily, if you're looking for the salt, it's to your right." Or, "Lily, don't put that there, it's too close to the edge." Lily and Paul both told him that while his commentary was somewhat helpful, it was completely unnecessary. Still, Ryan didn't stop. However, things became tense when Lily went to chop the vegetables. When she pulled out a knife, Ryan stopped her and asked if he could take over because he didn't want Lily to hurt herself. Lily said that she'd be fine, but Ryan insisted she give him the knife. Finally, Paul got annoyed and told Ryan to stop. Ryan did stop, but he kept hovering over Lily while she was chopping. I asked Ryan to sit down until dinner was ready, but Ryan insisted that he just wanted to help. Finally, Lily asked him and I to help set up the table and greet people arriving. We did, but things were still tense. I did eventually pull Ryan to the side and reminded him again to only help Lily if she asked for it. He agreed, but I could tell that he was still upset. Everything finally boiled over after dinner. My nieces, who are 5 and 3, have a game they love to play with their mother. They'll hand something to Lily, and Lily would have to guess what it is. Lily would sometimes make a couple of clearly outrageous guesses, like saying an egg is an elephant or a shoe just to make her daughters laugh. After dinner, the older daughter handed Lily the salt shaker. When Lily guessed it was a phone, Ryan piped up and said it was a salt shaker. Lily laughed it off and explained the game to Ryan, but I could see that she was annoyed. My niece then handed Lily a coin. When Lily guessed incorrectly, Ryan loudly told Lily that it was a coin. This was apparently the last straw for Paul. Paul demanded that Ryan leave since he clearly couldn't respect Lily. Ryan insisted that he was trying to be helpful. However, Lily said that it was probably best if Ryan and I left. I quickly gathered up our things and managed to convince Ryan to leave. Ryan is currently pissed at me. He said that I should have defended him, especially since I knew he was only being helpful. He also insisted that I should have stood up against Paul's overreaction, which are Ryan's words. I'm now wondering if I should have defended Ryan. Am I the bad guy here?
Paul's overreaction. Dude.
Ryan, you need to have go ahead, Hannah. Dude, they told you. She told you before y'all went to the house, do not help unless she asks. You, being annoying, decides to tell her. She knows where this stuff is. She's legally blind, not disabled. What are you doing? Oh, gosh. I don't want to say I don't like people like this, but dude, you the a-hole. You are the clear a-hole. If you have to ask the question, am I the a-hole? The answer is probably yes. She told you before you left, don't ask her for help unless she asks you. And you didn't listen, and you got told to leave. And why she have to convince you to leave? Once somebody asks you to leave, you get your coat and you leave. You don't keep waggling around. You get your coat and you say, I'm sorry, I offended you, and you leave. Stop.
This guy needs to take a really long look into why he could not control himself. This has everything to do with him and nothing to do with her. You can get in the way when you are just trying to help. And you know what? Sometimes that can be a bit of an excuse. You are assuming her ability runs by whatever's going in your mind, and you are wrong.
Exactly.
Back up and examine whatever this is, because this is not helping someone else. This is feeding something in you that, okay, so, okay, helping, great thing. Go find people who want help. Go find people who need help. Do not assume.
She told him, do not help unless Lily asks for it. How many they told
And
him at
believe
least
when you are
3
told.
times.
Mm-hmm.
They told him at least 3 times, hey, could you cut this out? And he still kept going. And
He
then don't
is
have nerve to
he
say
is the
defend him.
a-hole here,
No, dude,
absolutely.
sit down. Sat down somewhere.
You're muted, man.
I was listening to 99-year-old Tracy tell somebody to sat down somewhere. Sat down somewhere. All right, before I even give my answer, let's go ahead and see what everybody else is saying. Ryan needs to learn to listen to people. He's already annoying the hell out of me. His need to please is far greater than his caring about what others want and need. OMG, is this Am I the A-hole? Please, cause it's Ryan. Yes, it is Am I the A-hole. Hands down, he's denigrating her and her abilities. Look at me, how
Yep,
great
have great
I am.
enough for help.
This is ableism 101.
Yep.
All right, so here's my answer.
Wait, there's more.
No, there's not. What more could there possibly be on this one? But no, there's not more.
To be fair,
There
we
should
never
be.
know with you.
Yeah.
No, not this time. Not this time. There's not more. And I agree. You won't know with me. Here's the deal. Dude, either you're a narcissist or this is literally the first time you've been around somebody with some type of, oh God, I learned how to say this last week. Come on, Anna, help me out.
I'm sorry, I
Help me
can't hear
out.
that one.
Who has a disability. Am I saying that right, or is it something else?
This is a
Somebody who has,
person with a
okay, somebody
disability.
who has a
Yes, you say
disability, not a
person
disabled
first.
person. So either
Yes.
you're a narcissist or this is the first time you've been around somebody who has a disability.
He's both.
Or both. Dude, here's
Mm-hmm.
the deal. And I'm gonna go all the way to the end of this whole video. He's mad at me because he feels that he should have stood up for me.
No.
Dude, she did. Through the whole night. This wasn't the first. Let me start from the beginning because this is the first was before you even got to the place. Was it the first? Was it the second? Was it the third? It was the fourth time. And let me go back because I want to drill this into your head so you can get it. The first time was before you got there. I'm speaking as a parent. One of the first things that we do for our kids is to make sure that they can stand on our own 2 feet, stand on their own 2 feet. That is one of the first things that we drill into our kids all the time simply for the fact that you don't know when we're not going to no longer be there for you. So you need to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. This woman have a disability. You think her father didn't do that? Do you not think that was the first time all of a sudden she got somebody brand new in her life that shows up into the house? So hey, let me show him how great I am. I'm gonna chop up vegetables for the first time ever. And all the other, and this is the narcissist part of it. This is part of the thing that makes you a little narcissistic. It's a coin. No shit, Sherlock. I can close my eyes and grab a coin. The only trick I would have is which coin is it, not that it is a coin.
You know, if it's larger, it's a quarter. If it's got a smooth edge, it's a
I
nickel.
got that. That's my game. Try to figure out which one it is. Not that I know it's a freaking coin, you moron.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Nobody needs your help, but you was determined that you was going to help. Nobody asked you for it. Nobody needed it. And apparently you wasn't even, either you wasn't paying attention to how the game was played, or you just didn't care how the game was played because you was more concerned about helping. I'm literally not going to sit here and bash on you and say you're 3 out of 5 and 4. You're not that bad. I'm sorry. I only keep that for people who actually destroy other people's lives. You're not in that area. But bro, you are a 2 at the very best because you're purposely trying to help in situations where nobody asks for your help. And if you keep this up, you're going to start losing people left and right because they're going to realize that the only thing that's making you happy is for you to play the knight in shining armor, whether they need you or not.
You was way nicer than him, giving him a 3. I mean, a 2. This dude is 2.
I'll give him a 2 because I got some stories that's just like, yeah, you deserve to you know. I do think he's that bad. He needs attention to disrespectfully that he remains with putting others down to get it. See, Big, I don't think he's putting her down. I just think and this is what irks me so much.
He is putting her down.
He's not putting her down.
He is.
He literally
poor little disabled, poor little legally blind girl. Let me help you.
He doesn't think he is, but he is.
Yeah.
I don't care what he says. Really, he's putting her down.
I know. Let me finish. I don't think he's putting her down. I honestly think that he thinks that she is so helpless. The only thing that's pissing me off so much is, dude, you just met her. How you think she got as old as she was? What do you think she was doing up until the point that she met you?
And she's legally blind. Isn't there a difference between being legally blind and blind?
Yes.
So she can see a little bit. I'll say she can see a little bit just so I can understand it.
Everybody thinks Stevie Wonder is blind. Stevie Wonder is legally blind. Stevie Wonder can drive a car. Stevie Wonder shouldn't drive a car.
No, people who are legally blind can't drive. Huh? I didn't see people who were legally blind were allowed to
well,
drive.
They're not allowed to. But Stevie Wonder is legally blind. They can see certain things, just not as clear.
I thought he could see like shapes, but he couldn't see like people.
Shapes, colors.
Yeah, he can see colors and shapes.
Yeah. This could be for Lily, but oh no, a knife. Ooh.
I don't care if she was like full, couldn't see anything. But sit down.
My deal is, what did you think she was going through before she met you? That's my question.
He doesn't care. He's a narcissist. It's all about me. I'm going to be the hero. Look at me. I'm so good. I'm helping her.
That behavior is definitely narcissism, one of the most poisonous kinds. Yeah, that's what I agree with. And I really do think it's narcissism. That I think that you have to be the knight in shining armor. And if you don't get it checked, you're going to get to the point where you feel like, Nobody can function on this planet unless you involved. Your relationship, your jobs, your friends, your family. That nobody can do absolutely nothing without your involvement whatsoever.
Me, 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 me.
Yes, he's putting her down. He's discounting her ability to matter how many times he was been told to stop. As a disabled person, I was really pissed off and insulted if I told someone a couple of times. It's insulting, yeah. That I'll give you, yes. That I don't need your help.
But
For
she
Most
time.
of us don't mind the first time.
The first time
A
you're
lot
being
of us
helpful,
are.
but when I say no, I'm fine, and you keep gumming, nah, we're gonna have to have a
You don't
conversation.
you don't grab
Mhm.
somebody, you don't grab the back of somebody's wheelchair because they're in a wheelchair and you think you have to you
Do
don't
not
do this.
Oh, I
touch
learned that one the hard
somebody's
way. Yeah,
wheelchair.
I learned that one the hard way. I was like, I will never do
Nope.
this. I now ask, hey, do you need me to will you? They say no. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I learned that one the hard way. And they were totally correct in telling me.
Yeah, don't do it.
But I didn't make it about me either. Like, look at me, I'm being so helpful.
Yeah, it'll be about you if you no, I don't need your help. Oh, there's no problem if I help you. No, I thank you, but I don't need your. Oh, really? There's no problem. Look. Oh, you're so rude. No, I was polite the first two times. The third time, you're just pissing me off now. So you wasn't catching me when I was being nice. So we're gonna have to take it a step further. This is a good segue into what the announcement for the show is, because I forgot to say it at the beginning of the second hour.
Wait, there's more.
There is not more. Let's move on.
I'm just like, wait, there's more.
No, there's not more. No, it is not more. It gets worse, but I don't. It's not worse news. It's not bad news unless you're just that type of person. So we, as a collective group, the Main Mafia, has decided that these shows are going way too long. We also decided that what we're not going to do is do anything to the first hour. We find the information that we give to everybody very important, and we're not going to shorten how we feel and what we say and how low that we say it and anything like that. If it's in our hearts, it's in our minds, it's in our souls, it's going to come out of our mouths. Period. But in order to make sure that this is no longer a 3 hour, 3.5 hour show, we have decided that we will shorten the second hour. So going forward, we either are going to have a am I the a-hole or a real or not. Also, on top of that, Foxy's videos of the week will be shortened from 5 videos to 3 videos. We feel, and apparently everybody feels the same way, that we want to make sure that enough people see this. And let's be honest, folks. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Come on. Come a little closer to the. Come on. Y'all get a little closer. You know damn well when you see 3 hours on a video, you ain't watching. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Okay, we're cool with that. Okay, we're cool with that. So we decided that we keep it well under 3 hours, 2 at the very most 2.5, because Theus is still around. So let's just be realistic. So we got to keep it at least under 3 hours. So from this point on, we're trying to at our very least to have no more 3 hour shows. So we're gonna keep it around 2.5 at the most. So in order to do that and keep our integrity as a show, we're going to shorten the second hour. With that said, Foxy's videos of the week. I click on the 3 hour videos, LOL, but I know what you mean. Oh, I get it. And there's some people who do. But the numbers have shown that Not too many people know. As a matter of fact, I have an example. Not too many people click on the 3-hour live shows anymore. When I break them down into their segments, everybody watches those. So I'm just being realistic. Why do you think TikTok is so big? Is what, 30 seconds out of your day? Not even that, 20? I don't know how TikTok works. And will you be on TikTok? Hell no. I agree with that change. Yes, I'm still paying attention after 3 hours, but I'm fading fast. And that's another reason, because after a while, stuff just start running together. And I'll be honest with you, at about the 3-hour mark, which is, like I said, I try to keep this as short. After the 3-hour mark, I don't have anything else to say. I just don't. You may hear words coming out of my mouth, but when there have been times I looked at a replay of a show and looked at the 3-hour mark and went, what the hell am I talking about? That's not even the subject. What are you doing? So, yeah. Sounds like a good decision to me. Thank you, Susan. All right, so as anybody else who is new to the show, Foxy's videos of the week is videos that my good wife Foxy pick for the shows. I make the decision of which ones to show, and of course, I always put the most serious ones at the beginning of the show. At the beginning of the show, the beginning of the segment, working our way down to the more humorous, laughing ones of them. So this one right here it's not humorous per se. It's just stupid. That's about as close as I could actually get to this point. And somebody that I have not put on this show in a very long time. Any thoughts? No? Anybody? Candace Owens.
I want to live in a society like the one that my grandfather lived in. And I tell
Candace, hey, I need you to think real critically for 1 second. I need you to think real expeditiously.
I believe in freedom of speech, but not for everybody. I'm just gonna clearly say that. I'm just gonna say that, and that's. Some people don't deserve to get to speak. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not really sorry. Why did she? I want her. Here's what I want her to do. When I want her, I want the school that she sued for racial discrimination to sue her for a false account. That's what I want. That's what I want. She sued the school, said they racially discriminated against her, and now she says there's no such thing as racial discrimination. Yes, I want them to sue her. Please do. I'll support it 100%. That's all I have to say. Everybody don't deserve free speech. Some people just don't. Tucker Carlson, Fox News, OAN. Yep, they'll be like, well, Tracy said, sure did.
That was Tucker's thing. Tucker Carlson? No, no.
They deserve to say it, but I ain't got to hear it.
Hey, look, Candace wouldn't have been on here if it wasn't for the fact that it was 15 seconds. And go ahead, because I already got my statement. I already got my statement together.
Well, I look at it a little differently than Tracy. Everybody has the right to say what they want. But yeah. I don't have to hear it. Not even 3 seconds. It's alright.
Hey, Candace, let me just play this because my rant's going to have a couple of words in it. I mean, a couple of cuss words in it. Oh, joy, Candy Ass Owens. There's no racism.
Yeah, I've never experienced it. I don't know.
What? You a nut.
You
Candace,
get the poet this week. Yep.
Candace, let's make something perfectly clear. That statement right there along with a lot of other ones, but just add this to your compound of dumbness. This by far have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are absolutely, positively, 100% full of shit. There is not a black person in my generation, the generation after me, and a small little bit the generation before me that wants to go back to our grandparents' generation. I'm not talking for everybody, so I'll just speak for myself. I don't want to go back to my grandma's generation. Sorry, but not sorry.
I'm not sorry. I don't want to go back.
I don't want to live in that generation. Candace Owens doesn't either. Because your dumb ass think that your grandfather lived in the greatest Make American Great moment in American history. We ain't got that crap now. Imagine what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, when I had no bodily autonomy, I couldn't vote. I couldn't do. Ugh, shut up.
So, and Candace, I just want to show that you've been full of shit for so long it ain't even funny no more. You're just spewing stuff out of your mouth without even thinking. And bless
Oh no,
bless
she
the heart of the
thinks.
person that's sitting there saying, "Lady, think. Come on, Candace. I need you to think. I need you to think real quick." She already thought of it.
This is good.
She's not like Thea said 100 times before. These people are not speaking to us.
Yep, they're not.
She's speaking to them.
She knows exactly who her audience is. She gets paid. She says what they tell her to say when they tell her to say it.
Yeah.
Y'all knew what I meant by everybody don't deserve it.
They can say it. I just don't have to hear it.
Yeah, I can't stop you from saying it.
Did you all see the story from the past week from Marjorie Taylor Greene saying she wants to split up the states and not allow anyone but Republicans to vote in the
I also saw a video where she said
Yep.
she knows white people that are just as lazy as black people. And
Hey,
she thought
I'm
she was
sorry.
saying something.
Please tell me that you're not. That's
She literally said that, and then went on Fox News to defend what she said.
allow everyone but Republicans to vote in red states. You dumb hit.
And she
If
doesn't
you're
even
in a
live
red
in.
state,
She's not even in a red state. That's what I'm like. Georgia went for Biden the last time. You do know that, right? So you wouldn't be able
no, I
to
get the
vote.
point that she was saying, but here's the point that I will make.
She
Sure, go ahead and divorce. You know, and by the way, you moron, you're not the first. Texas tried, Florida tried. You realize what the consequences of it. As soon as you actually get away from the country, guess what the first thing is being moved from your state?
The military,
The military.
all them
Who
government
is
jobs.
protecting you, you moron? Second of all, guess what else? All of a sudden shrivels up and goes away.
Tax monies, Medicaid, Social Security. Oh, and don't have a natural disaster because where you gonna get the money from? Yeah, be a state, be your own country, fine. But when some pop off, you better shut up. You want to be your own country. Now be your own country. See you later.
Bye-bye.
I sure did say it. I don't care. Now be your own country.
Don't forget that she used to have a blog that trashed Trump
Sure
constantly.
did.
A lot of people did. It wasn't that popular, so when she was offered big money to sell what little shit she had, she jumped on the back. Oh, okay, so she's a female. Oh, what's my boy's name? What's the other reason why I even started this show? Not Tucker. I would never start a show because of Tucker.
Lindsey Graham,
Lindsay, little
your
Lindsay.
favorite senator. Come
Yeah.
on, you should have remembered him, Marlon.
Yeah, so so she's a female Lindsey Graham. Because remember, Lindsay did the exact same thing. Lindsay called Trump every freaking name in the
Xenophobe.
book.
And then once
I think he won the Republican nomination,
You
and then
do
he was the
not
greatest man on
want
the
to
mankind.
elect this man, he said.
That's what Marco Rubio
You will
said.
regret it.
And he was correct. He was right.
Yeah.
Because you a wimp and a liar.
He
But
owns guns. He owns a lot of guns.
that man ain't own a gun. That man shot a gun on TV. That don't mean he owned it.
That was Dr. Oz that tried to shoot the gun, and
No,
they
Lizzie shot a gun. Lizzie got a video of him
what
shooting some type of rifle.
a
I
BB
can't.
gun.
No, it was a rifle of some type. But yeah, there's a video of him with some caption of, yeah, I dare you to come take my guns, which, okay, let me ask y'all a question. I dare you to come take my guns. No, I got a better dare. I dare you to find where we try to take your guns. Find me the legislation, find me the police, find me the military, find me the government agency, find me whoever it was that actually came to your house in any kind of way, shape, or form of any level, state or federal or county, that came and tried to take your guns. No, shut up.
But they won't.
Make all the streets blue to kick the Democrats out. Problem solved. Oh,
Wait.
by the way, I hate to use this fact too.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. Look at the census for the last 40 years and realize which states have asked for the most federal tax dollars for whatever for the last 30, 40 years. Which states are those? Blue states or red states?
I believe they're red states, Marlon.
No.
Yeah, you'd be shocked, wouldn't you? And guess where they get their money from? The blue states pay it. Because they pay higher taxes, so they pay more into the system.
Clutch my pearls.
That you are not wearing.
Clutch my mic. That don't sound right either. Make all the states blue. They kill the.
Oh, you already read that.
Oh, we already read that one. All right, next video. This is real short, but so I'm not even gonna take anybody down because it's real short. But I'm just gonna let you know the only reason I'm putting the video up is because I actually grew up with this thought process.
So you telling me that gay people can hang with straight people, but that doesn't make them straight, but straight people can't hang with gay people because that might make them gay?
That good old conservative logic.
That's not conservative logic. I grew up with that. So Anna, here's what our logic. Here is our logic. Growing up in the hood, a gay person can hang around with a group of straight people. There's no issue. We know they are not going to hit on us. We're not going to hit on them. Blah, blah, blah. Everything's cool. All you would know is this person in this straight group is gay. Got that part? You could never reverse it the other way around.
No.
I.e., you could never have a straight person in a group of gay people. Because that means gay. That you are gay. If you're using more than one brain cell on this, you use one too many.
I'm not.
Yeah. So, no. Thank goodness I grew up and realized that's the dumbest thing I ever freaking heard in my whole entire life.
That's like saying if you hang around a bunch of thieves, you're...
No, I can do the equivalent. That's like saying a gay person can go into a straight bar or a nightclub. He's not gonna come out straight. She's not gonna come out. They're not gonna come out straight. Have a straight person go to a gay bar.
They're just so popular.
You come out fabulous. So, yeah, that's the logic. I didn't say
when you find that bar, let me know.
that you come out fabulous?
When you come out fabulous?
I was
I know.
already fabulous before I went into the bar. Don't start none. It won't be none.
Oh, you're fine.
That's good. I'm not gonna
You're fine.
ever describe myself as fabulous.
What's wrong with being fabulous?
I'm not describing myself as fabulous.
Wait a minute, how do you mean it? Because I'm like, well, you can only be fabulous only means one thing. You're awesome, you're great, you're fabulous.
I already have one issue going out in my life that I have to deal with day after day after day after day. And it has been a deterrent to me since I can, as far back as I can remember, that I'm sick and tired of always waking up and looking in the mirror going, damn it, you're still great. I don't know how to deal with this. So I don't need fabulous add on top of that. I just don't. Enough is enough. I can't take but so much.
That's wonderful that you go to the mirror, though.
Gay people are dangerous in groups larger than one. Yep. Yeah. A gay person can hang with a straight person, no problem. Two gay people hang with one straight person. Fabulous. Yeah. Last video of the night. And I'm not going to argue with anybody because if y'all don't understand this one, too bad, because it's true. It's absolutely 100% true. There's not a lot, like Tracy said, ain't a lie in it. It's true.
Now that one I've never said.
Well, it's never. That's not a. Okay. Well, it's
the
mine.
Truth ain't in it. That you can have. Yeah, I'm like I say sad am, but I don't do that
one. Okay.
There's not a lot. I think I remember what you did say. Like I detect no lies. Or something.
Oh yeah, I have done. I detect no lies.
Okay. Well, I don't detect no lie in this one. So here we go.
There is only one sound in this entire world that will forever separate the old generation from the new one. For when the new generation hears it, they'll have no idea what we're talking about. But when the old generation hears it, we cringe. For we know the struggle we had to endure, that the new generation will never have to. So here is the one sound that will forever separate our generations.
AOL, oh my gosh, that is so true. Oh, they'll never know the joys of floppy disk. Them big old flop disks. They ain't gonna know. Phone booth, they not gonna know. The joys of hanging up on somebody and slamming the phone down, boy, that joy.
Okay, I literally still missed that.
I do too. I'm like, bring back the phone so I can hang it up.
At the very least, can I have the flip phone where I can smash it together?
Yeah, because now you can do now just swipe the button. I'm like, that don't feel the same. That don't make me feel good inside.
Well, one of the little things that we used to do, Anna, when we were sick of somebody, we used to say, you know what, do me a favor, hang this up for me. Hang up what? Hang up this and hang up the phone.
Yep.
So that was our thing that we used to do. We can't do that no more.
I mean, you can hang up on somebody using an Android phone, but you just swipe it. It's like
it ain't no fun.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not no fun if their ears are not bleeding.
It was satisfying when you.
It gave me a sense of happiness. I don't know why, but it did.
I don't know why.
Party lines. Who remembers party lines?
Oh yeah. Oh God. By the time we was finished, we had the whole school on the phone. We just be talking. Okay, I'm gonna call such and such. Then you call such and such and tell them to call such and such. And then you call. We had a whole classroom. At one time, I don't know if anybody can break this record, but we did count. At one time, we had 15 people on the phone. And we're all holding conversations.
Now Zoom is
taking. God, Mickey. I had an air horn. No.
Slamming it was gave me too.
I'm not using no air horn on somebody because I'm not paying your medical bills. And of course, Susan would agree because Susan is Susan. Of course, she would agree to that.
Carry 2 quarters in case you need the phone booth. Don't make me go back. I'll go way back on you.
And of course, I grew up in the hood, so I knew how to get around that. You call somebody on the phone booth, you tell somebody ahead of time. If somebody call and hang up immediately, dial 169 and it will call the phone number back. What you would do, Tracy, is you would put the quarter in and dial the number and then hang up. If they don't answer the phone, you get your quarter back. They call back
and you got the call for free.
And you got the call for free. How did I know this? How did I even find out this? Because I had a mother call me and cuss me out saying you being cheap and you just want your quarter back. I didn't even know this existed until she actually told me, being mad at me, talking about I'm being cheap, and that's why I hung up the phone.
I was like, yes, I do. Thank you.
Didn't even know that trick existed until you blew a gasket.
Remember collect calls? Oh, don't start me. I remember the days when you couldn't make a long distance call. Like if you made a long distance call after a certain time, it was more, but you dialed 1010, the area 1, the area code, you got to just... Y'all do not want to know what we had to live through.
Mickey, I'll do one step further. You remember the very first technology on wall phones? The very first technology. You're not going to call it technology, but it was. The very first technology on wall phones. Give up. Push button. We no longer had to do that.
Taking it, wait for it to come back. Then dial the next number. Wait for it to come back.
We thought we was big money when we got them little push buttons.
No, we thought we was big money when we had remote controls. I was like, oh, I don't have to get up and turn the TV.
No, we thought we was big money. Okay, Nikki, I'm not that old. I never had to use a crank, so I don't even know how that works. So, no.
But we got one of those phones.
I've seen it. I just don't know how that works. I've never. Oh, the phone number that you use to call for the weather.
555-1212, whatever your area code was.
It's amazing that me and Foxy was talking about this last night. Remember when you didn't have to dial your area code first to call somebody?
Sure didn't. You did not. You just called them. You just called the number.
You ain't had to dial the area code.
No area codes. Now you got to dial the area code. You're like, oh, come on.
The only time that you dial the area code was calling long distance. But now, everything is the area code plus the number. My mom and I used to do that ring and hang up thing. Her long distance was cheaper than mine. She said, yo.
If you remember MCI, you were born in the 70s.
Y'all don't want to know what I thought was big money.
Oh, shoot. I know what big money was.
What did you think was big money?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you from my point of view, big money for us was the push button. Big money for us was getting the cord that extended all the way from the kitchen to your bedroom in the back of the house.
The cordless phone.
The cordless phone.
Boy, that was it right there. Look, I'm like, oh, we didn't.
You trying to make yourself look like an imaginary drug dealer because you took the cordless phone up the street and try to answer it as if you was just big money with a cell phone, because the cell phones and the first cell phones and the cordless phones was the same size. It was just that big.
And when they got cell phone, remember when you had to have good credit to get a cell phone, and they just weren't giving them away?
No, I got one for you, Tracy. Remember when you had to pay for text?
Thank you. Oh. People don't remember. I'm like, yeah, we used to have to pay for texting.
Yeah.
Not that old. Don't forget the summer. I'll be 3/4 of a century. Okay. Never mind. I don't remember the crank phone. I have used the crank phone.
Describe a crank phone because I don't think I know what it is.
There's a crank that comes out of it, and where the old phone.
Wow, touchscreen devices was your first. Wow.
In the 3rd or 4th grade. Looky here.
iPhone came out when I was in the 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay. So
Parker, I ain't got
we
nothing to
have
say
no
to that.
comment.
Wow.
We just gonna remember when you used to
I
hang up the phone
I
and be happy.
remember iPhones
Oh, Parker.
wasn't iPhones. Apple computers is
Them
what I
big old
grew up
huge
with.
computers when the computers used to. Remember when y'all don't remember Beta and VHS. It was a big
Yep.
argument, and everybody went with VHS because it was cheaper. Oh my
Yep.
goodness!
Blockbusters.
There is one blockbuster.
Blockbusters.
Oh, by the way, how y'all
Great,
doing so far? Where y'all had a chance to actually partner with Netflix
yeah, and then turned it down. Oh,
and turn it down?
yeah.
Because why would we actually think somebody would rather be at home, pay money, and watch it from their living room than to get up at any time, go somewhere, night, day, raining, snow, go to the store, get a VCR or CD or anything that they would have to eventually look at, get back up, night,
Take it
day,
back. Make sure
winter,
you had to rewind it. You got to
make sure
rewind
you
it.
yeah, no, yeah. Staying at home and watching it on your TV for X amount of dollars per month. Y'all, yeah. I saw the first iPhone on my pewter. We did say pewters.
And they were super huge. I'm like, wait a minute. Look how much
No, the monitors.
the
ones that
monitors weigh
weigh
like
about
50 pounds. I'm
the
like,
ones that
dang, come
weigh
on.
50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the sizes. Look how, remember the big, huge TVs and like how big a big screen was and how much that thing weighed? Now you can get a 75-inch and it's like, okay, I can just carry this to my car. You
Yeah,
used to couldn't do that.
remember the big
Right.
screens that the last thought on your mind was hanging it anywhere on your
Yeah, you couldn't
wall?
hang it. It's too
You
heavy.
ain't hanging this big 90-pound thing on your
With the wood
wall.
frames around it and it came in that little console. Oh, you was balling then. If you had one of them, baller.
Sitting there pulling out your pipes in your house and
Eight
everything to
tracks.
sell.
See, y'all don't really want us to go back. 8 tracks?
Okay,
Ooh.
okay, now I can go that, but I was really young.
I was like
Because I can,
six or
cause I can tell you now, I heard the Car Wash soundtrack about 50 million times on an 8-track. So for my thing, I remember you was a baller when you had a cassette player in your car.
a CD player.
Nope, cassette player was the big thing.
No, I mean you was balling when you had a CD player
Oh my God.
and an MP3 player. Oh,
And,
forget that.
and your Walkman. How can you forget your Walkman?
Oh, that was the most greatest thing ever. Remember when
Yo,
you would take songs off the radio and you'd wait for that song to come on the radio and then you'd be like,
oh
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna
You
hit
made
pause, I'm gonna hit
mixtapes.
pause, and then
You make your own mixtape. Yeah, exactly.
You
yes,
make your mixtapes.
Yeah.
And when you was with that special person in your heart and you was on the phone, you both would make sure that y'all
oh
you make sure
yo,
you turn the radio on to the silent storm at night.
yeah. Or remember this one? Remember answering machines?
Oh no. Old school.
We still
Wait,
have voicemail.
we have voicemails, but we don't have the answering machines
No,
where you
you do
got
the
to do
answer
your own.
machine. But I tell
I
you, I
do
know
my
one
own.
player with your first
Yep,
cell phone.
yep. You
We
get some
used to
music in
pay
the background.
we used to pay 99 cents for your ringtone to be somebody's song.
Yep, you sure did.
Uh,
Or player. And now that I'm grown, this was so freaking corny and cringeworthy. Because this was your voicemail. This wasn't your
Answering
wait a
machine.
minute, wait a minute. No, this was your answer machine. This was your answer machine. You would play a slow music or fast or your favorite song in the background for like 10 seconds. Yep, Anna.
And you talk over or talk after it.
No, you talk out. No, you play it real loud. Then you would turn it down. Yeah, I'm not here right now, so please leave a message when you get a chance.
Yep. And I remember the
Talk to you
commercials
later.
that
Bye.
would still.
And then you turn the music back up and let it play, and then you get the beat. I told you it was cringy.
You can't do that with voicemails. You can, but they don't give you enough time to sit there and figure out what song do I want.
I told you it was cringy.
It was awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was cringy. It's cringy now. Macintosh. Oh, Macintosh. We were supposed to figure out what that drawing was. I still don't know what the hell that drawing is.
I had a Commodore 64.
Atari.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
If you didn't know how to play Pong, go sit down somewhere. I started in computers right after the reel-to-reel ended with the floppies with 8, and it was amazing when the 5.5 came out. And it held
Yeah,
so much.
I'm like, what's this?
The first song I ever downloaded from
Downloaded.
from
Downloaded?
And what kills me, the first song he got was from iTunes into my iPod. 9 years.
9 years old.
We're laughing with joy, Parker, really.
Because we're like, what? Download? I still haven't downloaded a song. And I'm like almost in my 50s.
Old school party lines, whole neighborhood.
I just go to YouTube and play music.
Oh, the funny thing, when you have to go literally download something onto, so you had to go get the CD to download games or anything onto your computer.
Oh, boy, when Microsoft Office used to have those CDs and you buy them, and it was good for years instead of now just paying for, oh my gosh.
My partner was Pete Floyd and all his ringtones, different songs for different. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could personalize the ringtone.
Okay.
If something rang, it was one person, and then if something else rang, it was another, because they didn't have caller ID. Remember when caller ID came out? I was like, oh, did this person? I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yep. So at a certain point on your phone, you was able to have different voicemails for different people.
No, different songs for different people as your ringtone.
No, the voicemails itself. Now, what you did with the voicemails was totally different because we got to a point.
I thought you could only have one voicemail.
You could have several voicemails, and I'm going to tell you why I know that. Because we would give out different numbers. So you could buy a different number. So we would play a player, again, when it was women that we was trying to talk to, we would give this number. And it was always off by one digit. So we would give the women that we wanted to talk to a different number. Then we would leave that. Yeah, make sure that you leave that. Make sure you leave your name and number.
Oh, and then all of a sudden his voice got bass in.
The other number that we had was for businesses for when we was trying to get a job. So we were like, yes, you have reached such and such. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and we will get in contact with you as soon as possible. Thank you, and have a good day.
Yeah, that's kind of like your email address. Boy, when I got my first email address, I thought you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm like,
Parker is Twitty.
Your baby mafia.
Baby mafia. Parker, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Parker.
He'll never come back, but that's your name.
You're not coming back from that.
Sorry,
Parker. You're not coming back from Baby Mafia. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally put the first name of our Mafia member, unless it's just really cringy and he doesn't like it and he pushed back on it. If he does, fine, we will take it off. If he doesn't, Parker will be the first named Mafia on this group. Baby. I introduce to you Baby Mafia. Parker, if you push back on it and you find it offensive, of course, we will stop doing it. If you don't, it stays. You can go down in history.
And blame Anna because she the one said it. I just asked for you 10. That's all I asked.
Oh my fault.
Okay, wait a minute. OMG, and it's okay.
Okay, baby
Parker
mama.
has made history on this show as being the first named Mafia member. Baby Mafia. Oh my goodness. Yikes, Parker, you could be my grandson with years to spare. Too much. Hey, he's okay with it.
You
Learn
are
life.
Yep, he's okay with us calling him Baby
gracious
Mafia.
man, Parker.
And he has made history. Parker, from this point on.
Now, when you come in next week, you got to type in your name. Now you can type in your name.
You have to.
Baby Mafia. Don't be coming here with no Parker. We gonna be like, who?
No, next week, tomorrow.
See, I was giving him a week so he could get used to it.
Oh my
Don't
goodness.
you gotta go like change your Google name or something?
Well, Robin, first generation Italian, I would have the Mafia name. Not that I'm still, but that literally is stereotype.
She knows.
That you can. Okay, Mickey, you can't say as a first generation Italian in the whole sentence off. Not that I'm stereotyping. Yeah, exactly what you're doing.
I mean, I'm Well, no.
No, I'm not changing that. That's too much.
He's about changing his screen name. I'm like, no.
Oh, no, not your screen name. No, that is going to.
Yeah.
God, YouTube, y'all make everything so doggone. Like I'm not changing my name for YouTube. I'm just not doing it. It ain't even worth it, really. Tracy, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me, as always, on TracyMediaLLC.com.
No, Parker, do not make a separate Google page for no.
Yes, do it. Do it.
No, we will know you as Baby Mafia. You ain't nobody needs to jump through hoops for one show to change that. No, please, that's asking too much.
It's okay.
Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
BoreliaEtc.com and on YouTube and Instagram as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our 2-hour and 20-minute show. So I appreciate it. It did work well below 3 hours. We will see you all tomorrow again. We will talk about the very first March on Washington that never happened. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace. Baby Mafia.
I'm so sorry.
It was Anna, not me.